Sadhguru, welcome to the Global Landscapes Forum.
Thank you.
Joy and delight to have you here with us today.
Thank you very much.
So you are a yogi, a mystic, and one of India's 50 most influential people. And 3 decades ago, you founded the Isha Foundation, which has human well-being at its core commitment. Today, you have over 9 million volunteers. So a lot of people know your work. You have a very big, global, devoted following. But there's some people who don't know it. So this is the point of today's evening. It is an Ask Me Anything session with you. So we will be getting questions from the thousands of people streaming in online who are not here today in Bonn with us in person. And for those of you in the room, you can still participate. Use the hashtag AskSadhguru, hashtag GLF Bonn 2017. So let's get started. First of all, I have a burning question of my own, Sadhguru. So in addition to my day job, I am a yoga teacher and a mindful meditation devotee. So what is your favorite yoga pose? And I have a feeling it's not downward dog for some reason.
The way I sit right now? See, for me, yoga is not about postures. The word yoga means union. Union means, in most people's experience of life, it is me versus the rest of the universe. If it's you versus the rest of the universe, it's a hopeless fight. So yogi has realized that this is a hopeless situation to be in, and he has learned to open up what I call as myself and make it like everything. So there is no me and the universe, there's just me, or there's just the universe. So in what posture do you want to sit? It's up to you. It depends what kind of seat they provide you.
And you've talked about this a lot, the idea of inner engineering. One of the people looking in here, like how you came up with this concept of inner engineering, and what does it mean?
See, is it not true that though people profess all kinds of religions and talk about all kinds of gods that they have not seen, today one thing that everybody trusts is engineering, isn't it? Why we trust engineering is, when you engineer something, you engineer it the way you want it. So we engineered everything in the world the way we want it. It has definitely brought us much comfort and convenience. To a point, we are the most comfortable generation ever. The kind of conveniences that we are experiencing, no generation ever in the history of humanity has experienced. But everything has transformed around us because of our engineering. But this one will still remain like a caveman, because you still get angry the same way as a caveman used to get angry. Is it not important that not just your car, not just your computer, not just your Wi-Fi connections, not just the world around you, you as a person happen the way you want yourself to be? If you don't happen the way you want yourself to be, everything else is happening the way you want it, life still won't be good. It'll be comfortable, but it will not be beautiful. Life becomes beautiful only when you are able to happen just the way you want yourself to be. If you could happen right now the way you want yourself to be, would you keep yourself blissed out or miserable?
Might have to tell my boss I'm gonna go teach yoga on
No,
island.
you didn't answer my question.
So no, it's a very good point. So start with the canvas within yourself.
If you had a choice right now, either to be totally blissed out or miserable, what is your choice for yourself?
Blissed out, but with a purpose, yeah.
See, if you're blissed out, you will do what is needed, not with your own artificial purpose.
Right.
Nobody has any right to have a purpose of their own. If you are really joyful by your own nature, you will look around and see what's needed and you do just that.
Absolutely.
If we are doing what is not needed, that is not a great thing. Only when people are seeking happiness through their action, they will do all sorts of things which are unnecessary on this planet. But if your life was an expression of your joy, you would do simply what's needed. So why should you need a purpose of your own? There are many things that are needed. If something is needed, we will act. Nothing is needed, you can close your eyes and sit. With mind full or empty, it's up to you. I sit with an empty mind, you do mindful.
Time to clear and reset. Very true. So one of the people streaming in had a follow-up to that. If we are all in the pursuit of happiness, why do you think it is so elusive?
To be in pursuit of happiness itself is a oxymoron. Because whether you experience joy or misery, happiness or unhappiness, agony or ecstasy, all happen from within you, isn't it? When the source of your human experience is within you, when the basis of human experience is within you, you trying to extract it from the world is a silly way to go about. Right now, this is the problem. People are trying to extract happiness from people around them or the world around them. They will definitely be frustrated and it will be elusive because how can you make happiness rain upon you? Happiness will not rain upon you. It is just that the seat of your experience is within you. If it was under your control, if you had taken charge of it, you would definitely create most pleasant experience for yourself. If it is not on your charge, it happens accidentally. Somebody else is able to make you happy or unhappy. Or what this means is, somebody else or something else or just about anybody can determine what happens within you. See, if somebody determines what happens around you in your life, that itself is generally called as slavery, isn't it? If someone else or something else can determine what happens within you, isn't this the worst form of slavery? That's what I'm trying to release them from.
Right.
The worst form of slavery, that something or somebody or whatever can determine what happens within you. What happens within you must be determined by you. If you determine what happens within you, I am 100% sure you will make the most pleasant things happen within you. If right now, if you're feeling blissed out, will you be nice to me? Obviously, isn't it?
Yes.
If you are feeling nasty, you will share it with me. But if you're feeling beautiful, you respond beautifully to everything around you. Instead of teaching all kinds of morality to people, if you teach them how to be joyful by their own nature, you can be assured they will do the best things to everybody around them.
Absolutely. Very wise. So, someone has a challenge. Then why is there so much suffering in the world? Is there a reason for it?
Suffering in the world is self-inflicted. There are situations in the world which could be challenging. Somebody is in a war zone, somebody is in a famine zone. These are pains caused from outside to us. Somebody may be in an ailment or an injury. These are things caused to us from outside. Pain is caused to you by your body and by situations around you. Suffering is totally manufactured in your mind. If pain comes, suppose I step on a thorn and it hurts me, it hurts my body, it's painful. My body also goes through pain. But whether you want to multiply it in your mind and make it into suffering or just leave it as pain and treat the pain as it should be treated is your choice. So this is a choice that you must be able to exercise. Most people have lost that ability to exercise that choice. The reason why there is such widespread suffering is, we have not invested any time or energy or resource towards the inner well-being of the human being. We have built schools, we have built hospitals, we're building all kinds of things around us which are of course needed, but have we built any infrastructure, either physical infrastructure or human infrastructure towards the inner well-being of the human being? At random, here and there something is happening, but there has not been an organized effort to do that. And that is why you see so many people suffering, because we have not invested in the human well-being.
All right, next question. We're at the Global Landscapes Forum where people work together, but sometimes people are selfish and just care about themselves. What is your advice?
I'm sorry, global?
We are here at the Global Landscapes Forum, where the mission is to work together. But many people seem selfish and only care about themselves. What do you say to that?
You must make them care more about themselves. If you're genuinely concerned about yourself, genuinely, then you will naturally be concerned about everything. Right now, their concern is not even themselves. It is their thought, it is their emotion, it is their ideology, it is their belief systems, it is their prejudices that they're concerned about. If they're genuinely concerned about themselves as a life that they are, they would naturally be concerned about every other life, because if you sit here for a moment as a life, because you and me are life, rest is all made up in our minds, isn't it? That I'm Indian, you're Taiwanese, somebody else, something else, this is all made up in our minds. Essentially, if you simply sit here, you're just a piece of life. If you experience yourself as a life, you being concerned about every life is just a natural consequence. It is… they're not sufficiently concerned about themselves, that is my concern.
So, how does one start a movement for
When we're working
Yes.
together in a place like this, we also have these issues. People keep coming to me, we are a volunteer organization with millions of people working across the world, so many things happening. And people keep coming up to me and say, Sadhguru, I cannot work with this person, this horrible person, like this, like that. So I tell them, see, in this world, this is the kind of people we have, like this one, like that one, like that one, like that one, this is the kind of people we have. If you think what you're doing is significant enough, you have to work with these people. This is the sort of people we have. But if you want to work with ideal people, you must go to heaven and today.
Good response. So, someone's writing in, how does one start a movement for positive change, like Rally for Rivers? How did you get it off the ground?
So the most important thing is, if we talk about some vague, abstract idea, it's not going to reverberate with the people. It must concern their lives. And if you clearly make it in such a way that it's about them, it's not about you, then naturally people will take up to it. One simple thing which is very clear in my mind, when I said this one sentence reverberated across the country in India. I said, this is not an agitation, this is not a protest, this is a campaign to raise awareness and to bring about a policy for the well-being of our rivers. So once I said it's not against you or anybody for that matter, it is not against the political powers, it is not against any particular group, it is not against the farmer, it is not against the city dweller, it is not against anybody, it is just that our rivers are dying, we need to do something. When it was appealed in such a way that it was never against anybody, it is for everybody, and it's not about me, it's about you, naturally people reverberate with that.
Absolutely. So, I'm getting a question here. How can we, school students, give our support to Rally for Rivers? This is from someone in India.
This is one phenomenal thing that happened in the country, the school children. Incredible things that they produced in the last 3 months. The way they stood up and supported, the kind of, lot of artwork they did and the messages they gave out and the videos that they made. The children did such a fantastic job which inspired millions of people to act. And when we asked them to paint a river, we had a painting competition running across some 160,000 schools. The most painful thing was to see that many children just painted sand and they thought it's a river, because that's the kind of river they've seen.
Right.
They've never seen a flowing river. And we made some kind of a brief survey and we found 80% of the population below 20 years of age in a city has not seen a river in their life. They only read about it, they only heard about it, they saw it in the movies, but they never seen a river in their life because they never went. They live in an apartment home, they just go to school and they come back and they study and that's about it. They never went to a river. So when I made this thing that, as a… it's something that I always kind of, against people taking selfies with me and I have never taken a selfie myself. I said I'm compromising this no selfie business and I took 8 selfies till now with 8 different rivers and it caught on in a big way that Sadhguru is taking selfies. I said only with a river, not with you, not with anybody, not with prime ministers and presidents, but only with a river I will take a selfie. And children started taking selfies with the rivers, they compelled their parents to take them to the rivers and this became a large movement and children have done wonderfully well. So for the child who's asking this question, the time for giving the missed call is over, it is in the works to become a policy. So we will be calling for, depending upon where you are. Right now we called forth with full-time volunteers, nearly I think 6,000 people have registered for this. And a few hundred will be coming and moving into the yoga center to work from there, the rest will work in various cities. Whichever city you are, if you register in the Rally for Rivers website, we will see how to engage you in some form.
Wonderful. Okay, now we all know the trick if you want a selfie with Sadhguru. Find a river. All right.
You have to have a river in the background.
I don't know if we have… well, we have the Rhine, huh? Not far. So, this is an interesting one coming in. There seems to be no justice in climate change. Developed countries that are taking up most of the carbon budget are the ones that flourish, whereas others are on the brink of disaster. Does the law of karma really work?
See, if we look for justice in the world, we will end up with a fight. The moment you demand justice, believe me, you will end up with a fight or with reprisals. So, whatever people have done, have done. Right now, how to get the world to be far more inclusive than the way it is what we should look at. If you ask for justice, in a way, in their minds, from whomever you are demanding justice, in their mind it looks like revenge. You're trying to avenge for what they have done in the past. It's not going to work. So we should look for a more inclusive world because what you call as environment is most inclusive, it doesn't spare anybody. So we just have to make common cause out of this. Those nations, those societies who have been little left behind in development, of course we have a challenge. We will have to pitch our causes in the international forums and for the right kind of laws. If you are asking, is this my karma? Yes, it is, because karma means action. You have not performed the right kind of action, so you are paying the price for it. It's time we do the right kind of things now. We must understand this much, that in our lives, if we do not do what we cannot do, there is no issue. But if we do not do what we can do, we are a disastrous life. So don't be a disastrous life thinking up all kinds of philosophies for yourself. It is very important we as a generation of people do whatever we can do to set things right. And this is our time on the planet. We must understand this. Those of you who think you're immortal, I'm just reminding you, you're mortal, you'll be dead one day, all right? On that day you will do something very eco-friendly that you get buried in the planet. It's a very good thing to do. But right now we must understand, we are here for a brief amount of time, like a baton carrier in a relay race. Whichever way the previous generation gave this planet to us, we are supposed to make it better and give it. But we as a generation, we cannot make it better. We have taken a huge bite of this planet. So it's important that at least we make an attempt to give this planet to the future generation as it was given to us. At least to that extent, we must do And there is enough time to do that. In the next 25 years, the damage that we have caused in the last 50 years can be turned around if we do all the right things. The question is only, are we going to be that generation which has the courage and the commitment to do the right things, or are we a vain generation who just talk about it and walk away?
Right. So on that vein, I just got a question. What do you think the youth around the world need to do to leave this world a better planet for the next generation?
Well, everybody will tell you consume less and save the water, save this, save that. Yes, all those things must be done, I'm not questioning that. But the most fundamental thing that nobody wants to address in this world is, see, at the beginning of 20th century, we were only 1.6 billion people. Today we are 7.3 billion people. I think that's an irresponsible reproduction. This is not just because of reproduction, our lifespans have increased. That means we have postponed death. If we have postponed death, is it not important to postpone birth? I'm not talking about any great philosophy, I'm just talking about simple arithmetics. If you postpone death, should you not postpone birth? And we're nice, but we're just too many. If we do not reduce the human footprint on the planet, do whatever you want, all kinds of technologies, all kinds of philosophies, all kinds of environmental movements, we have to reduce the human I'm sorry. Thank you, that's good. We have to reduce the human footprint on the planet in the sense see, right now we're 7.3 billion people. By 2050, the World Health Organization estimates we could be 9.6 billion people. By 2075, we are supposed to be 12.6 billion people. By the end of the century, we are supposed to be 14 billion people. There is no way you're going to save this world or save the forest or river with 14 billion people walking on this planet. Because our ability to consume because of our technological prowess has increased so much. What 1,000 people used to consume 100, 200 years ago, one person consumes today, simply because of the variety of things. Well, you can improve technology, you can drive an electric car, but electric car may not smoke in your city. But even for the electric car, there's a whole lot of stuff going into it, all right? Electricity has to be generated somewhere. So, without reducing human population, trying to curtail human aspiration is not going to work. I know human beings well enough. You try to curtail their aspiration, they will do or they will seek their aspirations or fulfillment of their aspiration in clandestine ways. It is very important, instead of making projections that by 2050 we will be 9.3 billion people, why don't we have a plan how to reduce this population? So, on the lighter vein, I'm saying, I'm talking to people in India and saying, I'm going to institute an award for all those young ladies who are healthy, who are capable of bearing children, but chose not to do that. I want to give them an award because their service for the future of this planet is too big to go unrecognized.
Interesting view.
You getting the award?
For now, I still qualify. All right, so Sadhguru, you've done a lot, but what is the one thing you wish you could change about the world?
Human beings? Everything else is perfect. That's the only thing. Everything else is just perfect. This planet is perfect minus the human beings. We human beings have to get in tune with the rest of the existence, that's all. That's yoga.
Speaking of humans, what is your biggest weakness?
What's my biggest weakness? I never left any aspect of my life as a weakness. Whatever qualities or whatever lapses that may be there, I made it all into something that will work for me and for everybody around me. Speed is my weakness.
Yeah?
Once
How
I
so?
sit on something, it has to go full speed. So with life, it's on full speed.
So that explains the motorcycle.
Huh?
That explains the motorcycle hobby, huh?
It was not a hobby, it was my life at one time. I literally lived on a motorcycle for about 7 years. I crisscrossed India on my motorcycle. Now I'm something else, but always on full speed.
It's good, there's a lot to do. There's a lot of action we need to take, so it's good to have people like you. All right, so Sadhguru, our last question for you is… how can each of us, on an individual level, interact more responsibly with nature?
See, how you do it. People always ask me, Sadhguru, what should I do? So somebody says you must have a shower with 2 liters of water. Well, maybe you need 25 liters of water, maybe somebody needs 50 liters of water. I am not here to tell you what you should do. My business is only to make you very conscious and sensitive to everything around you. You respond according to your intelligence. It's not for me to prescribe that you have shower with 2 liters or 4 liters or 10 liters. I will not do such obscenity on anybody, because I think it's obscene to tell people how they should do things. But I'm saying you must be conscious that your life is not a bubble separated from the rest of the world or from the universe. This is happening in tandem with every other life. Whether it's worms or insects or even microorganisms or trees or birds or animals, they're not separated from you. What you exhale, the trees are inhaling. What they exhale, you're inhaling. If you become conscious, do I have to tell you, don't chop the trees down? Do I have to tell you, protect it? My business is only to make you conscious. How you respond, I'm sure you will do it to the best of your intelligence and your capability, and I want to leave it there because I don't believe in telling people what they should do.
So, Sadhguru, I would love to spend all evening with you to soak up your wisdom, but thank you so much for all getting up and close and personal with us, but also this wisdom of everyone collectively through individual consciousness to come together in global consciousness. I think that's a great message for us. And for anyone who's interested in more about your organization, you can visit isha.sadhguru.org and the campaign #RallyForRivers. So good night and peace
Thank
to
you very much.
everyone. Namaste. Thank you, Sadhguru. Thank you.